Yeah, tell me about yourself.
Okay, so as you know, my name is Bob. Right
Mm.
now, I am looking for a front end developer role. I also learned front end, and I have good knowledge of HTML, CSS, Tailwind CSS, JavaScript, React, and I started learning TypeScript also just few days back. So that's it. I've also created some projects on React and JS also.
Mm. So you have good knowledge with the React.js, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So what I will do, I will first start asking the questions from the JavaScript, then I will move to the React.js.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Just a second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Babu. So I'm sharing you one question here in your chat box. Yeah, can you
Okay.
share me your screen?
Okay. Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay. It is visible.
It's loading.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you open the chat box?
Okay.
Yeah. So just tell me the output of this things.
This goes in.
Yeah, one by one. What will be the output?
Okay. So uh, the second one will be like zero.
Okay.
The third one will be fourth. The second one will be zero because this minus operator convert the string into number, and then it will perform the subtraction.
Mm-hmm.
And in case of third,
Mm-hmm.
in case of third, the plus operator will perform 2 into string, so it will be 22. And in case of first,
Mm-hmm.
the as I have know, the minus subtraction operator performs the operand into like a number first. So I think it will be none 0 and 22 of a string is
Yeah,
be
that's perfect.
okay.
Okay. Can you tell me about the event loop?
Okay, event loop. So, first of all, for the event loop, I will tell you like, so event loop, there is a like a call stack.
Okay.
Okay, there is a there are two queues, callback queue, or we can say the event queue. There is another queue called micro task queue, and there is a loop, this event loop. So these all things are provided by the JavaScript runtime, whether it is a browser or it is a node environment. So
Mm-hmm.
these all four things are provided by browser runtime or node runtime. Okay, so suppose there is a function. Okay, we are suppose there is a function, and there is a set timeout function, and there is a promise function, already resolved promise. Okay, so and we are calling the function first, that is printing simple A, and
Mm-hmm.
set timeout is printing B, and that promise is resolving with the value of C. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so we are calling this one by one. So the call stack does what? Every function that we call, for that function a
Mm-hmm.
execution context is created, and that goes into the call stack. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
one by one. Then that when function is executed.
Mm-hmm.
After the execution, that execution context is popped outside from the call stack. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
in case of the asynchronous task, like asynchronous APIs like set timeout, timers, DOM APIs, these APIs are first goes to the runtime, and
Mm-hmm.
from runtime, then those goes into the event queue, or we can call event queue or callback queue. Okay, and
Mm-hmm.
after the callback queue, the event loop comes into the place. This event loop constantly checks the call stack, whether the call stack is empty or not. If
Okay,
the
so
call stack
yeah. So suppose in call stack there are two things. One is promise, and the second thing is set timeout. So
Okay.
which one will be executed first?
The promise will be executed first, because the promise, suppose promise are goes into the micro task queue, and set timers are goes into the event queue, and event loop gives priority to the micro task queue first.
Yeah, yeah, that's correct. Okay. Do you know about the higher order function?
Yeah, higher order function are the function does accept a function and or return a function inside of that function.
Okay.
Like
Any
if there is
any example?
that map is a higher order function that it accepts a callback function, map filter reduce.
Yeah, correct, correct. Okay, let's move to the next question. Do you know about the prototypes in JavaScript?
Yeah. So there in JavaScript there is a default constructor,
Mm-hmm.
default object constructor, and from that constructor there is a default object is created by default, and that object is known as prototype. That object is by default is connected to a object called null. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
suppose suppose we have created an object, then that object will be linked to the our default prototype object that is already created, and that like that default prototype object is like connected to the null, linked
Mm-hmm.
to the null. So for example, suppose I have defined a function constructor. Okay, from
Okay.
from that constructor function I created two objects.
Mm-hmm.
So for that constructor function a prototype will be created, a prototype object will be created. Okay, that prototype object will be will be linked to the all will be linked to all of the object that I have created from that constructor. Okay.
Okay. So it works as an inheritance, right?
Yeah. In JavaScript is a prototypal based language.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Can you explain me about this keyword, how this keyword works in JavaScript?
Okay, so this keyword in JavaScript is always referred to your like calling side, or like
Mm-hmm.
suppose there
Mm-hmm.
inside a function in global space. This keyword, if we console this will refer to the window object. Inside an object method,
Mm-hmm.
if we console this will refer to the owner object. Inside in strict mode inside regular function in global space, this will be undefined, and there are more cases of this like inside one case is arrow function. So arrow function does not have their own this, so inside arrow function this will point to the parent object scope.
Okay. Yeah.
So
That. Okay. Now let's move to the React.js questions. Okay. So can you tell me some advantage and disadvantage of React.js?
advantage and disadvantages of React. Okay, so first of all, React developing a web app with React is a faster, is like time. It takes less time than creating any website with vanilla
Mm-hmm.
JavaScript,
Mm-hmm.
and also creating React. React app is is a much faster than like vanilla JS project.
Okay. So what makes React.js faster?
So
Can you give an example?
okay, so internally, suppose in say vanilla JavaScript project, when we make any changes, so we make changes to in the DOM directly,
Mm-hmm.
and for every change in the DOM,
Mm-hmm.
the website loads every time. But in React does what? React created a copy of the original DOM in the memory, and that copy is known as the virtual DOM. And
Mm-hmm.
whenever we make any change in our in our like component or
Mm-hmm.
state, so React uses a like diffing algorithm to come to for
Mm-hmm.
comparison to in the current virtual DOM and the previous virtual DOM,
Yeah.
and that and any change and it tries to make minimal changes
Mm-hmm.
to the actual DOM. So this whole process is known as reconciliation. So this makes React fast, and also like we can there are also technique there are also other techniques By using we can make like React much faster.
Yeah, yeah, that's correct answer. Yes, okay. So actually, that was a expected answer. Any disadvantage, you know?
Disadvantages. This
Like in React.js, to make it fully functional, we need to use the
yeah
some
yeah
external
yeah
libraries.
I got it. I got it. So React is a library. It is not a framework. So for routing, we have to install like another package, router, React router DOM. For state management, we have to install Redux. So
Mm.
it is not a complete like package. It is not a framework. So for creating a full-fledged React project, we have to install like many packages, many other packages.
Yeah, yeah.
Like in Next.js, routing is
Mhm.
already there. So
Okay, that's good. Okay, let's move to the next question.
yeah.
Can our browser understand? Can our browser read JSX directly?
No. Browser didn't understand JSX. Browser there is a compiler or we can say engine with like Babel. Babel converts the JSX into JavaScript objects and browser
Mm.
understood these objects, JavaScript objects.
Right, right. Have you used the middleware with the Redux?
Yeah, yeah. Middleware is Thunk and Logger. Redux Thunk and Redux Logger. Logger is for logging, like logging the current state, logging any value, and Thunk is for like performing any asynchronous task. Suppose I am dispatching an synchronous action
Mm.
and I want to dispatch an action, but before that dispatch I want to fetch some data, and after fetching data I want to dispatch that data.
Mm.
So this I can't do with like normal dispatch function. For this I have to this Redux Thunk middleware is come into picture. It does what? So it does instead of dispatching the normal dispatch
Mm.
function, we dispatch the thunk function, and inside thunk function we make the API call, and after
Mm.
making fetching data, we dispatch that data inside of the what's say thunk function to the reducer. So
Yeah,
it
okay.
is
So basically, what middleware does, it intercept the action that when we dispatch before it reaches to the
yeah
user.
yeah.
Okay, let's move to the next question. Yeah. So can our component, React.js component, re-render without calling set state?
Re-render
Is there any
without.
other way to reload our React.js component except set state?
Okay, so, without satisfied, so we can so when we like dispatch function, like if we using dispatch function, when we update the state, React will component with the
Without
render.
without updating state.
And without updating state, I think no.
You must be knowing it. Okay, let me tell you. You know about the keys we provide, right?
Yeah.
So what it does?
Keys actually, suppose when we are like rendering the list element, so we pass key as an attribute to that to every list element, so that React remember which key is deleted and which new key is added and which key is updated. So it this makes rendering faster.
Yeah. So we if we make the changes on the keys as while passing the data as a prop, so it will be re-rendered,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Do you know about the lifecycle methods in React.js?
I, I know, but I didn't work on the class component. So, like, there is a component did mount, component did update, and component will unmount.
Hmm. So those things we can also implement in functional based component, right?
Yeah,
So how we can achieve it?
by using use effect, like when
Hmm.
the component loads for the first time, so use effect run automatically. Okay, so this is component did mount. So whenever we pass use effect accept an argument, and second argument is an array which we call dependency array. So
Hmm.
whenever whichever, and that inside the dependency array we pass the state or the props, and whenever those state or props change, so use effect run again.
Hmm.
So this is the basically component did update, and there is a return function that return function is also known as cleanup function. So whenever the component mounts unmounts, so that cleanup function runs. These
Yeah,
all three.
yeah, that's correct answer.
Okay.